Good evening, viewers, and thank you for joining us on another interesting episode of Issues of the Moment. Today we have an Iroko on our program today, a great personality, one who is so passionate about touching and empowering lives. Before we tell you who our special guest is, we would like to play a short clip of our chieftaincy conferment.
It was a carnival of sorts, as those who matter within and outside the political scene across the country converged to witness the conferment of the prestigious title of Adowere on one of their own and wife of the Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akredolu. As expected, Ondo State was well represented at the event, which also had the husband of the honoree and number one citizen of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akredolu, in attendance. The governor, who was visibly elated, appreciated the people for finding his wife worthy of the traditional title of Adowere.
I want to thank them again for all the honor they have done us as a family.
For Mrs. Akredolu, her joy knew no bounds as she appreciated the people for recognizing her modest contributions to the society. She says the award will certainly spur her to do more.
If you knew my parents, whatever anyone at this time here that I had done, you will not be surprised. Community service comes to me naturally.
As expected, guests from Ondo State and others took time to recount her good deeds.
It's a chieftaincy title that is well deserved because Arabinrin Betty Anyanwu Akredolu is not just an ordinary woman. She's a mother, she's a philanthropist, she's everything.
Herself to be somebody who is loved by everybody, cut across every frame of society.
She's been honored is because of what she stands for as a mother.
Various cultural displays were featured as different dance groups also entertained. Adowere is the apex traditional title for distinguished women in the Old Owerri dialect block in Imo State, comprising 47 communities. It is known to be accorded to women who have distinguished themselves in various areas. Hence, the conferment on Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akredolu, who is also from Imo State. In Owerri, Obiano Junwosu, NTN News.
Welcome back, and thanks for still stay with us. Yes, we earlier told you that we will tell you who our guest is after that short clip, but let's give you a little profile of who we're talking about before we introduce her. Our guest was born in July 20, 1953 to the family of Chief B.U.B. late and Noma Jora Anyanwu, both late in Emabiam, Owerri West local government area of Imo State. She graduated from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka with a BSc in Zoology in 1977. She obtained her MSc Fisheries, majoring in aquaculture from the University of Philippines. Academic qualifications in view are Masters in Public Health, MPH, major in Health Promotion and Education from the University of Ibadan, and PhD major in renewable energy application in aquaculture from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. We are talking about no other person than Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akredolu Igolo Abiam, Adaima Abiam II, First Lady of Ondo State, Adowere. Well, Your Excellency, you're welcome to Issues of the Moment.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, what's your experience like? How interesting or challenging is it to be a governor's wife? Let's start with that. Can you tell us?
Challenges? Of course, there are challenges. for being the wife of the governor to start with. There are issues surrounding the legitimacy of a governor's wife to do stuff. And whether we like it or not, that position is one that, if you have the right set of mind, you can do a lot of things. Given that that position is one that people would love to be associated with, even though the question will, did you vote you or your husband? At the same time, people will also want you to help in one way or the other. So if you look at that position, it's like contraband good or a hill. You don't want it, but at the same time, you want it. So, like I said, when you look at the situation, you know that it's better for you to really make use of the position to help people or to help the society. At the end of the day, people will remember you for how impactful you've been in their lives. They will no longer talk about whether it was constitutional for a first lady to do stuff. That's those are the challenges. Like I've made my choice to be impactful in people's lives.
Despite the fact that you are doing so well in integrating with the people and culture of your place of marriage, you have also continued to get back to your roots. How are you able to blend these two?
I want to thank my husband for letting me be, for giving me the space to be myself. As you may know, I'm a daughter of a headmaster, and my mother too was a teacher before she left for trading. And I've come to realize that I come from the part of the world where training a girl child is like a waste of money or waste of resources. Having recognized that, and also being lucky to come from that background where parents valued education, regardless whether you're a boy or a girl. I thought that in my lifetime I would prove that training the girl child is not a waste. So, though I'm married to an open man of mine, I know my husband people, they will not like to hear that, but I always say, but they know it's just for the fun of it. So, marrying my husband, and my husband did realize at the very beginning that this woman is a woman that has a mission, and the best thing to do would be to support her to accomplish that mission. And I think, without sounding immodest, that mission of changing the narrative of the position of the girl child in the society is increasingly being accomplished. And I think that my people, where I come from, Emaga, Owerri West, and Owerri Federal Constituency, have indeed demonstrated in no small way by the recognition of my contribution, by conferring me, firstly, Ademadiam II from my people, and Adower the first from the entire Owerri Federal Constituency. You know, easier.
Nice.
And I do appreciate them greatly. What they have done is to tell our people that one, we here.
How does it feel being called Adowere, given the previous one you probably had?
Huge. It's huge. We are talking about 3 local governments. These local governments constitute the Owerri dialectic zone. You know, we have a dialect that is, when we speak it, people love it. It sounds good, romantic, and melodious in the ears. So those local governments or those communities, I think they're about 47 or thereabout, that said, one name one. Eshishi. Opeshlelage. And if I may translate, they are saying the cap fits you, the honor, the conferment, the coronation. This one big grammar. It fits you. And I'm very, really excited about the recognition, and I want to tell everyone listening that I will not disappoint them. I'll keep carrying that torch of Adowere. Adowere fits a woman of substance, a woman that has indeed feels proud to come from Adowere.
Alright, will this conferment of Adowere, will it affect your work of philanthropy in any way?
No, it will boost it.
Okay.
It's like telling me that you've got more to do. Initially, I would say that I had concentrated my philanthropy in my immediate community, Emadiam and environ. And you agree with me that charity begins at home. I began with my immediate community, and we can attest to that. Now I'm going to increase the scope of my philanthropy and make sure that it touches all the communities that felt that I deserve to be conferred the title of Adowere One.
Alright. You seem to be very passionate about touching lives and considering the fact that your office as a governor's wife has no statutory allocation. How are you able to fund your numerous projects?
Yeah, if you knew my background, I come from the civil society. I founded Breast Cancer Association of Nigeria 25 years ago after my experience with breast cancer, and I knew that we needed to get the words out there to tell the people that you may be diagnosed with breast cancer, but you don't have to die. And if you don't come out to say it, people will never know. As I sit with you, I'm proud to say that I'm a 25-year breast cancer survivor, still counting. Many a time people will say, I've never seen a breast cancer survivor. We've always heard about someone who had died. And if you didn't come out to tell what your experience was, nobody will ever know that breast cancer is about the simplest form of cancer to cure these days, or people can live a productive life after being diagnosed with breast cancer. So, and if you run an NGO, you have to devise means, funding strategy to raise money. Unfortunately, our environment, the NGOs, they hardly get the, let me use the word, patronage of the public. Our people would rather, give their money to churches and so on. But when they hear about NGO, they said, when they give you the money, do you give account of it? Maybe you are using it for your own immediate needs. So it's a little bit difficult for people to donate to that kind of charity other than church. But we keep on urging Nigerians, because when your wife or a relative of yours is diagnosed with breast cancer, more often than not, you don't have the money. You start running here and there. Where do you go? You go to NGO. You see? You go to NGO. So it's about time my people realize that once in a while, if you see NGOs that are doing well, touching people's life, you can drop, no matter how small, because we always say no amount is so little. We have a lot of Nigerians that have much money, they don't even know what to do with it. Support NGOs. So because of the funding strategy that I was used to in running Brecon, it's also about 25 years, and we have 5 chapters, Oyo being the mother chapter, Ondo State, Lagos State, Imo State. Imo State Brecon is very active, moving in all the nooks and crannies of this state, raising awareness, because we need people to know that breast cancer doesn't have to kill you if you do the right thing at the right time. By October, Bielsa will come on board. So we have 6 active breast cancer chapters as I speak. So you need to be innovative in your funding efforts or fundraising efforts for you to have the organization expanding. So that strategy is also what I applied when I became a First Lady in raising funds for all my initiatives. And one of them is the more that is taking place right now as we speak. I may not disclose my innovative approach right here, but I know that it has really helped us in sourcing funds. None of my initiative, all these, the 2 I've mentioned, they are all privately managed NGOs. They are not government NGOs. And I think also that for NGOs to survive in this country, you don't need to depend on government 100%. You have to devise your means of remaining afloat, because being a First Lady is like It's like a borrowed time. The highest you can spend on this position is 8 years, and after 8 years, that's it. That's it. So if you really want to leave a legacy, or you want an NGO that will be there after you've left as First Lady, you must have innovative approach to raise your funding. All these organizations I'm talking about, definitely, they will even be much stronger after my tenure as the First Lady of Ondo State.
Since you mentioned BIMO, we'd like you to throw some more light on it. Can you tell us about BIMO?
Yeah, BIMO, as the name suggests, we want our girls to be more, because the society had been unfair to the girl child, the women folk. Those of us who are educated, I think it is our burden to change the narrative. We have to mentor these girls. We must let them know that they can be more. They can be whatever they want to be. I noticed the gap, serious gap in digital technology, which is the in thing. That's the way forward when we even talk about employment opportunities. There we have our girls or women so few in number. And this is a sector that is gender neutral. Like I tell my girls, you can be in your house and make your millions. Like if you're one type that you can code, you can do social marketing, so many things you can do if you're digitally knowledgeable. So I now focus that area, that this can help these young girls to get into the market. And secondly, the solar technology, forever never has failed this nation. And solar technology is the technology that is now available. And the sun is abundant. You won't even buy it. It's all the appliances that you need to trap the sun that can give us light. So why not? Our girls, if you introduce them into this technology, they can. And they're already demonstrating that they can. So that's why I started it in Ondo State 2017. And then I've introduced it to Imo State. Because everything I do, like I keep thanking my husband for giving me this space. He knows that everything I'm doing in Imo State, at least one third of it, I would like to bring back to my home state. Again, letting our people know training a girl child is not a waste. Why I keep emphasizing on that. So if your child, if your daughter is married off elsewhere, you've not lost her. We need to inculcate that kind of thinking in our girls ourselves, and again in our parents, so that you don't choose your son over your daughter because you feel that your son will be answering your name, your daughter will answer somebody else's name. But here I am, I'm in nowhere. I'm in Ghana. I'm in Ghana. So they've not lost me in any way. They've not lost me in any way. And I think we need to build that capacity or encourage our girls, especially girls from this area. If you're married or your parents have not lost you, I'm demonstrating that profoundly.
We sincerely wish this discussion would just go on, but time is no longer on our side. We've been speaking with no other person than the First Lady of the state. We're talking about Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Kirodolu. She's Igolo Abiam, Daima Abiam 2, and currently Adore. I'm afraid that's the size of our package tonight. Join us for another interesting edition of This Is of the Moment. I am Bright Ibuchi.
Thank you for having me.
Ihoma kpọrọ anyị. Ihoma kpọrọ anyị. Ademabia igolo wanine Adowere igolo wanine ganihu Iwoma merelani yo Igolo Adowere igolo wanine ganihu Her Excellency, First Lady of Ondo State, in person of Chief Betenye Nwakeredo, Ada BUB, Nwafọ Ikeze, Ademabia niile Jemba, Nwafọ Ikeze, Adowere niile ganihu. Igolo Adowere igolo wanine ganihu. Nalemabia